I'm Dr. Ryan DeBell from The Movement Fix. Welcome back to Movement Fix Monday. I'm here at Metier, Racing and Coffee with Chris Johnson, and we're going to look at a assessment for the role of the actual shoulder joint, the glenohumeral joint flexion, to see if it's a limitation in somebody's overhead lifting. So Chris is going to take me through an assessment, or he's going to show himself and then he's going to show me, and then we are going to look at a drill on how to work on that. So here we go.
I'm Chris Johnson from Zarin PT and Performance. Sorry, I had to play with you, man.
That's okay.
Your intros are great. So,
thank you.
Ryan was kind enough to have me on his show again, and what I wanted to, yeah, you have a show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a production.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
right.
So what I actually wanted to discuss, or when we were kicking around ideas, is a concept of isolated glenohumeral motion, because I know you don't do a lot of work with overhead athletes and people pressing overhead.
Never.
Yeah. So. Anytime someone has a limitation overhead, they always think it's a shoulder, okay? And there's a fellow by the name of Amati, and he and his colleagues have done some interesting research looking at isolated glenohumeral motion. So a simple assessment that we can look at is basically going from here as high as you can, all right? That's isolated glenohumeral motion. So when I'm doing this, I'm basically drawing my elbows towards midline and then going up so it's parallel with my nose. So most folks should get roughly to the level of their forehead as just a simple benchmark. And if they're able to get there, but they're still having an issue with overhead lifting, there's something else that we're probably missing or we have to consider. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, so again, let's have you just go through that assessment. Now, Ryan obviously, a little bit developed in his upper body, so I know you like doing biceps. That's probably what you were doing before you came here. So
Wednesdays.
Biceps and chest. So that's probably there could be a soft tissue limitation in your particular case. So bear that in mind. But that's a simple assessment to look at, and you had a great idea for a banded mobilization in the event that there is a true limitation in the glenohumeral motion. So go ahead and take us through that.
Okay, great. Okay, so what we have here is we have just a basic kind of band, and I don't do a lot of banded stretching unless I think that there's actually like an accessory joint motion limitation, meaning when the arm goes like this, if you have a limitation, or the way the joint works is that you would roll up like this and you have to have some gliding and rolling in the joint. And so if you have a limitation, you can kind of work on that, and I only use these banded stretches very particularly. This would be one case where I would. So it's attached down at the ground. I'm going to put it around my arm like this. Now I'm going to bring my arm midline, kind of like what we did for the test, and I'm going to use my left hand to push my elbow up, just back and forth. And this is an easy way to work on the actual glenohumeral joint in this position when you have isolated and determined that that's actually the issue. I think a lot of people do banded stretches and they don't know why, or they don't have a reason to do that, even though, say, it's their lats are tight or their thoracic spine is tight. In this test, we actually see, can it be the shoulder joint, and then how do we use a banded stretch to assist in those accessory joint motions? So that's a great drill, and I don't do those really aggressively. You do it just enough.
Yeah, and there's probably also a neurophysiologic component to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not all like just you're moving the bones. There can be a lot of other things there. So that's one easy drill to work on if you find that you're limited in that by the test. So that's what we got for this week on Movement Fix Monday. Thank you to Chris Johnson for talking about the test and then looking at this drill. So appreciate that. If you don't already follow the Movement Fix on Facebook, make sure to go to facebook.com/The Movement Fix. And you can also find me on Instagram @The Movement Fix. See you guys next week.